If at first I'm appearing nervously, know that I am nervous, for anxiety is slightly disturbing my rhetoric, reducing the resonance of my voice, increasing the dissonance, no choice, choking, invoke, broken, bitterly spoken, half symmetry mimicking the thoughts in my head, trapped sympathy fidgeting in your seats where you cannot be fed, the thoughts trying not to be read that ought to be, but still remain half said, dry bled dry by the whining inside me, the blinding beating heartbeat bleeding outer. That's how it feels, it seems to be real. I'm dying, but I'm trying not to. I know it's not true. I can see it, but I can't be it. Anxiety is a demon on my back and breathing the oxygen straight from my cranial sheeting. Lightheaded, slow thoughts and a curious meaning. Nothing makes sense, so mayhaps we're dreaming. Fire the intense relapse into being little more than everything that I'm seeing. Find the context recaps the feeling that henceforth and as far as I remember, I have been dreaming always. It's a feeling as real as the moments that reel in the days, as they pass, as the passage of stages and dreams, as they delay the feeling of the wheel churning the reality curtain on the stage of this play. And living day to day, it occurs to me that all I touch and all I see frolics along on the pages I be, turning themselves in the book of this dream, and I'm suddenly aware of the look of the screen, as apparently there's me, and there's that, and there's nothing in between. So here's the prognosis, the supposed mental postage arriving at the door of my soul at the mat on the floor. Here's the situation I've grown to abhor. My eyes are seeing people, but my mind is seeing not. The faces are gawking, my thoughts they are stopping, caught in the cycle of please help me they're watching, panic in recital at these doors where I'm knocking, rapidly knock knock, who's there, happens to be the panic in the air, asking me don't you stare, through those same eyes at night, whether awake or asleep, don't your dream makers keep a close watch on the aisles that they sweep, don't your days seem to seek a close march on the aisles of the deep moats and streams of your sleep, don't the rays of the sun seem to play and to run on the water within when the play has begun? Are not the props of this play quite impeccably familiar? Isn't it all quite unquestionably resilient? Reminiscent of forgotten and abandoned missions, picked up and begun as though never unplugged, there all along, though quite still, quite abrupt. They began because, despite trying to remain as sober as you can, the brain releases bedtime melatonin and pinoline, a relaxant and psychedelic so powerful, so riveting, as to completely change your perception of living in this world that you forget who and where you are. Blinking is gone, but who needs it? The feeling of forever open eyes is fantastic and feeds the needle's eye throat moments through the foraged foaming thoughts roaming through the open courts of that stolen away black and vibrant place where the thoughts come face to face with the last to take their place and place you then in spacious racing expansive thought wave tantrums brought in dancing blotted can't be started hardly plotted story modules, polygon road rolling onward, inward in you, you see you are the dream, but are you free or are you caught? You're free to change an awful lot, change the patterns, change the thoughts, determine the story, the words, the plot. But change the form you surely cannot. So learn the form and learn when to crop. Learn when to start and learn when to stop and change it. When the thought occurs, you can affect the future as it curls, crashes, and turns to the past as it passes through now into what's happened, like pulses, movement, and music. That's right, the truth is, life is truthless. The truth is, the game is changing, falling apart and rearranging, and the only way to be on top is to stop remaining with the old and be one with a new pattern through creating, analyzing, and remaking. Find the subtle agility to conquer the mind's own instability. Find the humble ability to control parts of yourself and of nature while realizing that chemicals control the form that you're instated in. Hormones, neurotransmitters, and tryptamines control your world, so listen here. Control is a word that disappears, contingent upon it seizing your fears. Whether or not it will is never clear, whether or not it's up to you, I've sincerely no idea, it's hard to say. In other words, I'd say just turn the page. Take it as it comes, and notice when the same problems have become anew and rerun ad nauseum, like a three-note pattern on a drum. Become one with what you want and leave behind those broken thoughts. Don't be the problem, be the answer. Don't be the same, just be the transfer. Be the change and be the sparrow, and then remember, my flying feathered friends, be sure to let your patterns end.